So half of this week was so bad it gave me cancer. I don't even have. That's the strongest way I can put it.
Yeah, it wasn't a good week.
I wanted to fucking scream during. No, it was like 30 minutes ago. I totally did. I shouted at my screen because of all the fucking stupid shit I was forced to sit through. And it just wouldn't stop.
In some ways, last week was better than this week because you only had one show.
I can pinpoint the exact moment where I was, this is going to be a bad episode. And it's not, and it's very close to the beginning.
I was having a Game Grumps-esque meltdown at some point. Like, screaming at my fucking laptop going, ooh, Arrow! Ooh!
If it says anything, I was starting to fall asleep while I was watching it and actually had to rewind a few times.
There was no way I was going to be able to rest through this fucking episode. Because my blood pressure was spiking.
See, I had the opposite. My body was trying to shut down to protect me from how bad it was.
There's a point during the episode where I started watching YouTube videos.
God damn. Wow.
So, I'm a very, very rage-filled Connor McGraw this week.
Yeah.
Because two of the shows, one of them is my favorite show on TV, they were both fucking abysmal.
Yeah.
Bad.
Also, I watched Dungeons and Dragons 2 days ago. All right? I'm a little tired.
Connor's had a bad week, everybody.
Oh no, there's a rabid Wolverine on the podcast.
This is like the end of Logan, but somehow scarier.
Palpable rage, and you're all experiencing it in real time.
Oh.
Well, so should we get right into it?
Well, I asked who else is here because no one knows who you all are, apparently.
I suppose I'm Hunter Davenport.
I mean, one could call me Arlen Harrow if you wanted.
After Flash and Arrow, this is the ghost of Erik Fedorchak talking to you.
I'm not entirely convinced Flash made me get that post block on Facebook.
Is this when you quit on us, Erik? When you're like, I'm done. I'm out here.
No, not quitting. I'm dead. Like this is a ghost who's managed to figure out how to work an iPhone, and I am now talking to you from beyond the grave.
Oh my God, get Zach Baggins.
But strangely, I still don't know what DeVoe's plan is, even after being in the afterlife.
Nobody does. No.
DeVoe doesn't.
I'm like convinced he's making up as he goes along.
No, the fucking thinker is the exact opposite. He's a bullshit artist. I'm convinced.
Yeah, it seems it.
So what is your plan? Plan? I don't have a plan.
It's almost like we're not going to find out his plan to the last 3 episodes, and then it's going to be really bad.
Calcified speed force.
Let's save this though. So what order do we want to go into?
We're doing Flash first.
Okay. I see. Now normally we talk about this in either ascending or descending order of quality. Currently, I have kicked Flash and Arrow into the same fucking hole in the ground, and I'm just pouring dirt over them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but the rest of us all ranked Flash fair. Less, so we're all. So we're going Flash
yeah,
first.
That's fine with. I don't care because I hate them both equally. This is a bad fucking week. It's terrible.
Here's the thing. These 2 episodes are so bad that they make the other 2 shows being really good not mean anything. Like
it did. Yeah. I don't remember anything about Black Lightning this week.
No,
because
it's erased.
2 hours of Dungeons and Dragons, and then 2 more hours of Flash and Arrow. Mm-hmm. My week has been dominated by 4 hours of trite.
Also, just want to point out this is like a all-time Legends. This is like Golden Age Legends level. I thought this
really
week.
Good.
And Flash. This might as well be season 3, part 2.
Yeah.
It's worse, though.
It is worse. How is it worse?
Here's the thing. You are living my nightmare from 2 years ago. It's like Rustin says in the first season of True Detective. Time is a flat circle because you are all living my life from when I had to experience Arrow Season 4. And when I was like, I don't know how this is worse than Season 3. I don't understand it. This doesn't make sense.
I got following the exact same trajectory, too, from what you're explaining to me.
It's exactly the same. And I'm angry about it.
And then this episode even had before we get into the meat and potatoes, this episode had the fucking balls to bring back Savitar for a second.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Okay, here's the thing. Because they set up DeVoe with Savitar, I was okay with it.
Yeah, and then you know what the payoff was? Fucking nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing.
It was Chekhov's gun, but Chekhov's gun didn't work.
How do you set up an event a season in advance, and then your payoff is like, oh, it didn't work. What?
Well, are we supposed to believe because he's from a different time stream that it worked in his, or
No,
is it just?
so my guess is that
they said they used it. He never said it worked.
That's
That
the
was
thing.
their fucking escape card.
You could say that was him intentionally fucking with them. In which case, okay, well played, Savitar. Well played. But still, fucking goddamn it.
Yeah.
No. Okay. This episode had a lot of terribleness to unpack, and it revolves around a new meta they've discovered named Izzy Bowden.
I believe that's it. Country McGee.
Actually has a cool meta power. However, the actor behind this character is another word for bad. Stronger than bad.
Dog shit?
Newest episode of Arrow.
There you go. That's comparison. Her accent was
It's atrocious.
It was
appalling.
It was all over the place.
She would say, like, she said, "Are you here to protect me?" But she has this forced Southern twang, so it's like, "Are you here to protect me?"
But that's the thing. I mean,
Never said me. It said May every time.
The little bit I know of Southern accents, like, they're not all universal. Like,
right.
There's a difference between like an Alabama accent and like a Tennessee accent and like a Southern Florida accent.
And even though that accent has traveled, it has traveled to the coasts. Definitely, it's traveled to Washington. It is there in the mountains. It's not the same. It's like a weird offshoot, and it was just like generic Southern accent.
Well, that was my issue.
She sounded, the way she talked was the way Shania Twain sings.
Oh, God.
And no one talks like that.
Great description.
Like, no one speaks like a country music singer sings, okay? It's a made-up dialect. Like,
yeah, it's like,
it's
remember when Taylor Swift first started out and she was very country in her accent? This was faker than that somehow. Yeah, she was bad.
However, her performance sucked. I like her power and her way of using it.
Yeah, it was cool.
I thought the violin was
performance.
Cool as shit.
Speaking of her performance in the beginning, when you see her standing on top of the bar or whatever and playing her fiddle, there is one point where someone is holding the microphone to sing her lyrics, and her voice sounds exactly the same, which doesn't make any sense, being if this was a live performance, her voice would sound further away when the microphone isn't near her mouth. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, the fiddle kicked in about 3 seconds before she started playing it again.
Well, look, they had one 10-second sample of this country song, and they stuck with it, okay? Heard it about 4 times. Something bad's gonna happen.
Right.
It's something
about bad's
taking
gonna
money.
happen to you, or whatever. It was. Also, here's the thing: there are good country songs. I say this as somebody who doesn't like country that much.
No, there is something to be said about good country music,
right?
Because there is like worth to country music when it's not what country music is today. Essentially.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it right now. Like, pop country is a blight on the music industry. Okay,
it's the worst.
I disagree with that.
It's not.
Oh wait, what about the song "Accidental Racist" with LL Cool J and whoever the other guy was?
No, actually, that song goes all the way around to being brilliant. I think there's a lyric in there about I'll forgive the chains if you forgive the gold chains.
Oh God.
That's an actual thing that LL Cool J says in that song. It's spectacular. But yeah, that's a yeah.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. And here's the thing: I feel like every 10 years, someone tries to do country rap, and like they push for it, and they like really try to make it a thing, and then everybody says no.
It's like rock and hip hop are kind of rooted in the same origins,
right?
And they complement each other very well, and we have decades of music to prove that.
Mm-hmm.
Country and hip hop could not. It's like trying to. It's
diametric opposites.
Mm-hmm.
Rock and hip hop is like peanut butter and jelly. Hip hop and country is like peanut butter and tar.
Right. It would be like trying like to combine 80s hair metal and R&B.
No.
Like it just wouldn't work, like at all. The only time it came close to working is in is it Billie Jean or what is it? Beat It. In Beat It, there's Van Halen is on that track. That's about as close to that as you'll ever get.
But that wasn't even R&B. That was pop.
Right.
Like, that was.
But there's something to be said about like pop rock working and like pop country being the worst dog shit ever created.
Well, this is the thing. All the people who are currently working in pop country were the same people doing like the most generic hair metal from the 80s. It's the same guys.
Yeah, good point.
It's the same producers who just got older and hair metal died. And
Some intrepid soul on the internet took, I think it was like they took like 6 of 3 years ago's top country hits, stitched them together, and you can't tell where the transitions are.
You can't.
Yeah.
It sounds like a single song because
the
beats, the lyrics, and the way they're sung are the exact fucking same.
Yep.
I'm looking at the lyrics for Accidental Racist right now.
Oh,
And
no.
one of the lyrics is R.I.P. Robert E. Lee, but I've got to thank Abraham Lincoln for freeing me. Know what I
Jesus!
It is awful.
It's so bad that it goes around to being good.
That made me clutch my chest like an old woman. Holy God, is that bad?
Someone said this is a good idea. This.
Oh my God.
Speaking of this week's Flash,
Okay, so they tried something with Ralph, which was confusing because I thought he had a thing for Caitlyn.
right?
Yeah.
And it seems like he just has a thing for anything with a pretty pair of eyes. It seems.
Right.
Don't we all?
So I thought
this actress is gorgeous, by the way.
yeah, she is.
She was.
Yeah, that's one
despite
thing
her-
she got going for her.
Despite her performance, I kind of liked her.
Yeah,
Because one, I thought I'm like that's a kind of cool character to have stick around. Oh, never mind.
she's very charming. She's very charming, despite her bad accent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That and I'm like, just for some reason, I like the idea of a character whose superpower is the power of music.
yeah,
Like, I'm gonna kick your ass with this fucking fiddle.
Did they establish it was music? I thought it was just sound based.
I think
It's
it
sound
is just
based.
sound. Yeah,
But they're like,
She has the power to produce powerful sound waves.
yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
This episode is kind of like a subplot from Heroes season 4. I want to say.
That's further than I ever made it.
Well, Robert Kemper. It's the season where Robert Kemper shows up.
Nope, no idea.
I don't know, but But there's a character in that season that I'm thinking of that has the same powers, but she's deaf. So,
Then how does that work?
well, no. So the idea is that she can't hear sound, but she can feel sound.
Okay.
To the point where she can see it, and then she can also control it and generate it.
Interesting.
It gets real weird.
Yeah.
And there's another, and then the Robert Kemper character is his power is that he amplifies other people's powers, and then can slowly take control of their powers. So yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
So that's a thing that happens.
So the more time we spend with DeVoe, the less we know about what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also addressed. I'm glad they addressed the elephant in the room with DeVoe suddenly being back alive, and how it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was really glad they did that at least.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised they didn't. Did they say fake news? I can't remember.
Yes, they did.
Said
It was
fake news.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
That was a smart choice, I guess, to reference real life. The rest of the episode didn't really work though. So
Nope.
yeah.
Nope.
Barry's a dick throughout this whole episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barry's a
kind of is
shit.
Yeah.
And he's stupid, as he has been in many episodes. When he's
stupid. The Cecile Harry stuff I kind of enjoyed.
that was the bright spot in the whole episode. That stuff was,
Yeah.
Especially when he's throwing shit. Because I'm like, this is the most.
Why are you throwing things at me? That was so good. Yeah.
We discovered that Ralph has the same affinity for watching white women suffer that Steele did from the movie Steele.
That
just
whole sequence was just to say it was it's not even rage-inducing. I just sat there and I'm like, okay, so this season, just like last season, is just one long endurance test of watching people I'm supposed to like consistently fail.
Right.
And consistently fail whilst looking really dumb.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds exactly right.
With an ambiguous villain who is somehow, because of all this fucking body switching shenanigans, is giving worse and worse performances as the character goes on, and we only have to sit through like 3 episodes of awkward evil Barry.
I'm so.
It's so disappointing because there have been episodes this season that have been like, oh my god, they're on the right track, they're on the right track. Oh no, what are you doing?
They started with a lot of momentum
Yeah.
after the first 2 episodes. Started actually gaining some speed with this villain, and then just dropped every single ball, like up until now.
It's almost like after a giant crossover, everything started to go really downhill. Again, this sounds so fucking familiar to me. Like I've been here before. I don't know.
So let's once again try to break down what the fuck DeVoe is doing. From the beginning, he was a guy who gets hit with the particle accelerator intentionally, so he can make so he can make the brain cap. Let's call it whatever the fuck.
Right.
He makes the brain cap. He apparently starts to die, I guess, slowly.
Yes.
Yeah, he have something happen like because he got hit by the electricity or the dark matter and all that.
Yeah,
like it gave him muscular dystrophy or something along those lines.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That's why he's in the wheelchair.
His brain was taking up everything that his body would be doing on its own. All of the things that would keep his body going went to his brain and not to the rest of his body. That's the way I understood that.
That's kind of cool. Okay. He gets a swanky looking chair, a really cool look, a cool lair, a really cool. I'm not even gonna call her a sidekick because she is the co-pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has been there from the beginning. I consistently forget her name. I never hear it mentioned.
Marliese. It's a very hard name. But yeah.
So then after kind of being ambiguous, he crashes into the river.
In one of the funniest moments in all Flash history.
God, that
which
is so funny.
They must have dug the chair out of the river because we got to see what's her face, the Jinx, not even Jinx, whatever, the one with the Jinx powers in the chair in this episode, which was laughable at best.
Yeah.
So then we got Bad Gap Model for 2 to 3 episodes.
Right.
With the most lifeless performance I've seen out of anybody on this show.
Yes.
He can read minds.
I think that was his power.
Sure.
And he could apparently influence them too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You discover that in this episode, though.
It's great.
So then we get Defoe version 1. Clifford, quote unquote, dies.
Right.
All of this still, for some reason, I forgot Barry was in prison already.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was 3 episodes long. I forgot it happened.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know why it happened.
It's almost like that 2-episode stretch where Oliver was almost put in prison for being the Arrow in season 4.
I'm gonna talk about that too.
Times. Speaking of fucking identities fucking being revealed.
Oh, God damn it, I forgot about this too.
Alan chimed in and he was like, no, Smallville had more reveals.
Not as many times as Smallville.
All the characters he listed off died at some point.
Yeah.
All of them.
It doesn't matter. They're still alive.
Yeah.
Patty Stewart, still alive. The list goes on.
Dr. Light, still alive. Linda, still alive.
He has the worst kept secret identity.
Iris, currently living.
And fucking all
I wish she was dead.
Here's the thing. Iris wasn't even that bad in this episode. She was fine.
Well, that's because she didn't have anything to do.
Right. Wait. God damn it. This is so bad. And, like, the new mayor was even bad. Like, she was on TV. She was acting as a person on TV saying things, and she was bad. I don't...
Yeah.
So Barry revealed his identity to somebody else. He, like, almost to look at the camera and say, yeah, we're just going to skip all this nonsense. I'm the Flash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The fact that that's his go-to thing to earn trust is so dumb. And they're just going with it. Like, they're not taking any criticism at all in heart. I don't...
So then, with DeVoe, he gets boring Gap Model.
Right.
And then, whose body is he taking? Oh, that's right. He goes to Iron Heights.
Right.
Kills a bunch of metas. Takes all their powers. By the way, he made all these metas by allegedly opening up the Speed Force, letting Barry out, and letting Dark Matter into his bus. He did that. Why did he need to make new metas? There were plenty of others.
Because his body was breaking down, but they still haven't explained why he needed them specifically.
Yes, because Central City is full of metas. So why did he specifically need to make these metas?
I don't get it at all.
Because the writers who were in charge of this arc obviously all got drunk halfway through and forgot what they were talking about prior.
Our problem here is we're trying to make sense of it because it doesn't.
No, it doesn't make sense.
And that's the whole point of this conversation is we're trying to track this plot from beginning to here. There's no connective tissue at all.
No. So here's the thing. Here's what we do now. They think that they're the good guys because they think they're trying to save the world. So that's why he had to find a way to live on past his current body. Okay, so his plan for that is to make new metas and release the only meta who is intent on stopping you.
And then you're gonna just murder these new metas.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you really wanted to just take people's powers, why did you go about creating new metahumans just to kill them, just to steal their powers?
Right.
Because it's the only way he can finish.
You could have literally sauntered into Iron Heights and say, hey, give me, I don't know, 5 of your strongest metas.
Right.
He just... It's like, mm-mm.
He could have snuck into the fucking pipeline. You know that secret prison that's in Star Labs that's not supposed to be there, where people are in prison without any due process.
I don't think anybody's in there anymore, though. I think they only put people in there when, like, crossover events and stuff like that. So
the episode requires
There's also all the escape metas from
Right.
season 1.
Yeah, fucking Weather Wizard is out there somewhere.
Weather Wizard is out there. Nimbus is out there somewhere. Like, the dude who put the... No, he's dead. I think Captain Cold killed him. But yeah, like some...
Hacker Man.
Fucking Mirror Master out there somewhere.
Yeah, like actual metas who he could easily take over.
You mean actual members of the Rogues Gallery from the Flash comic that the show is ostensibly based on?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Like,
why does he need to shrink things?
I don't.
Why does he need a bad luck? Why does he need to bring statues to life? Why does he need to? I mean, controlling technology is the only one that makes sense. Which ended up being the biggest fucking cop-out in this whole episode.
Well, controlling technology made sense because it's one of his actual comic book powers. Like, that's one of his things. So it made sense that, okay, we can't give him 2 powers at once. He should steal it from somebody else. Okay, I'm willing to go with you on that one. But the rest of... None of this makes any sense. Because it's not like any of these powers add up to a super meta. Or something like that.
The statue one is kind of kind of hilarious that he wants it. Cause it just...
Why do you need that?
Why do you want that? Why do you need that? Like, here's the thing. The powers that would make you invincible are teleportation, telekinesis,
super speed.
and immortality, and super speed. Those 4. Yeah. Those are the 4 that if you have those, you're invincible. No one can touch you.
But he's just gathering up all these, like, fucking Z-list utility powers for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's becoming what's the guy who's like his arm can turn into magma and his other arm can turn into steel or whatever and
or whatever.
Yeah, Metamorpho. He could change into a lot of different things though. Like his was element based. So
yeah. He's like
at this point he's common with composite Superman. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, what? Matter Eater Lad. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, the point is...
Listing off shit, because it's more interesting than this episode of Arrow.
We don't know how he thinks he's the hero of this story, also. That's the other thing.
Because we don't know what the fuck he's doing!
The way that they've hinted is, okay, he's going to stop pollution?
Something.
Is that what we're supposed to understand? Pollution
is he Captain fucking Planet now? Like, what is...
he's like, there are bigger things facing this world than you, Barry Allen. Okay, could you tell us what that is before we're at 9 episodes left, maybe?
He's gonna cross over with Legends. He's gonna end up defeating Malice for them.
He's gonna be Malice.
I will send you all letters of resignation if that happens.
Yeah, I'm not into that theory at all because that retroactively makes this pretty good season of Legends terrible.
That's not gonna happen.
No, they would not kill themselves like that. I would hope. Oh God, please don't.
I'm so angry. I'm so
also that he exists in multiple eras. I'm so now.
Yeah, by the end of this, like, he shows up in bad actor's body, little bad luck girl, Hazard, delivers a bad performance, again, because this girl's not actually that good. She's cute as a button, but she's not that convincing when she's trying to be intimidating.
Yeah, she's,
and then he abandons that body for reasons, and then jumps to a new one for reasons, and now has the ability to generate sound waves for reasons. And then we go back to the team because they tried this cerebral inhibitor that they said they alluded to last season where Savitar was like, this is where we made the cerebral inhibitor to use against Devo, and it seems like that'll be important. And guess what? It became calcified Speed Force all over again.
Here's the thing: that might still be important.
I feel like that wasn't just a throwaway item. That'll come into play later.
But still, it's like...
The
only progress this team makes is figuring out where DeVoe hides, or at least how he hides. Mm-hmm. Not where, not when. They don't have a way to get there. Nothing. Like, Cisco's like, in the most defeated I've ever seen him, is like, Yay, fucking hides in pocket dimensions. I'm gonna go mope now because we lost again.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
all right. So, quick question: at the point where Singer McGee was getting taken over by DeVoe, since when did he have the ability to project those force fields?
I think they're the same force fields that trapped Barry. But
they were in his lab,
right?
so
they
that
were
would
in his
make
pocket
sense.
dimension. I mean, his TARDIS.
But he wasn't in. Oh, he was in the chair at the time. Duh. All right, never mind. Yeah. All right, that would make sense. I forgot he was in the chair because I forgot a lot of things that happened in this episode because it was so goddamn stupid.
Yeah, too bad.
I don't think there's much else we can really say about it other than this was bad Flash.
It's just
this
dumb.
Was,
oh,
yeah.
Also, the fucking the moment that almost made me scream was when, like, the amount of ways they had to come up with to depower Barry and sideline him for a couple seconds is getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
He runs at full speed, and she's like, "Ha! Now you have suffered a brain aneurysm."
Well, that was connected to Gap Model's powers.
But here's the thing: they didn't set that up.
No, they didn't at all.
They did nothing to. That's the problem with it. It's not. It's the same problem. I can't think of a good example right now, which is really crappy. But I know what movie I know has this problem. That just it's not coming to me. But like, there's a movie that I remember got a lot of shit because things would just happen that were convenient for the movie, where a character would suddenly be able to do this, and that's how the movie, like, how things were resolved, how conflicts were resolved.
Any of the Resident Evil movies?
Yeah, I can't think of a good example right now, but it sticks out in my head for some reason. But this is just like, oh, in the moment, DeVoe can do this. So
he can suddenly cause someone of a brain aneurysm,
right?
And they recover in a minute. I don't care how. Barry can heal fast, but Barry,
he got better.
He just gets better. Like,
if Gap Model had given
season 1, he breaks his arm, like has a compound fracture, needs a few hours to heal.
Mm-hmm.
Like now he's like, they're like, I've given you a brain aneurysm. 2 minutes later, he's like, everything's gonna be okay, Ralph.
Yeah, it's like.
Well, maybe that's what we're missing after that happened to Barry. It was all like it was all just in his dying brain. This is what was going on. He was rendered retarded.
His synapses are just firing off whatever he needs to fucking accept the fact that he's dying in the street.
Yeah, like it's, they say like, the last 30 seconds or whatever arbitrary amount of time feels like a lifetime. Like that was the last like 5
also,
minutes
like
of his
at
life.
this point, like I said, the amount of ways they could Barry running at DeVoe with that kind of determination, and that kind of with that much stakes, he would have been there faster than DeVoe could snap his fingers, and would probably put him on his ass, her ass, their ass,
whatever.
So we're also supposed to believe that DeVoe could stop Barry and give him this brain aneurysm or whatever issue, but she didn't notice Ralph's arm, this elongated monstrosity of an arm getting closer to his face with that thing until the last second.
Right. Here's the thing. This is almost worse than Arrow Season 4. because here's the thing. Some people like to shit on Neil McDonough. I
like Neil McDonough, and here's the thing. If you shit on Neil McDonough, you're wrong. Okay?
Right.
Damien Dark is the problem.
No, here's the thing. I like Damien Dark as a character, and I like Neil McDonough's performance. He was never the problem in Season 4, ever. The problem was how the character was written and the way that they treated his power set. And the fact that every fight between Oliver and Damien Dark would be Oliver shoots an arrow at Damien, and then Damien stops it, and Oliver's like, oh, well, I guess that still doesn't work.
You did that again. I should learn something or two.
Right. I should maybe, I don't know, hit you from multiple angles, have my sidekicks who also have arrows shoot you and distract you, and then I should shoot you. I was a civilian thinking that. They never did anything like that. They never trapped Damien Dark in a cylinder and shot him from multiple angles. They never dropped a corn truck on him or something. They never did anything. They never distracted him.
Bury him in a silo.
Do something. Don't just shoot him head on and hope that that's gonna work. And they did that throughout the entire show. And their solution was, let's bring in another character from an animated show to fight him. That was Vixen, by the way. And that was their entire plan to defeat him. And then once he got his magic powers back, guess what? It wasn't until the final episode where Oliver was like, what if I actually just, punch him? Maybe that will work. Oh, I punched him. That was successful. I'm going to do this from now on.
Stab.
It's like, what the fuck? Why are you treating your audience like idiots?
So, speaking of Arrow.
Right. Because we could go on for Flash on that forever.
Fuck this whole fucking bullshit nonsense roller coaster of an episode.
So, the moment I knew
I despise this episode.
It's really bad. It's bad.
The exact moment I can pinpoint where this is going to be a bad episode, where I knew, was the boardroom scene where everyone is just yelling over each other. I was like,
Yep.
Oh no.
Yeah.
My moment was when Dinah pulls the veil back and is like, I'm a complete piece of shit. And any investment that had me as a good character has now been assassinated.
Right.
For me, it took a little longer to get to the point that I realized it was terrible, but I think it was the point that they were all in the vans.
Uh-huh.
That was the point where I was like, oh, this is bad. This is real bad.
Yes,
they did.
That was so okay. I'll get to that in a minute. But this looks like it was built to be like their version of Civil War.
It felt like it. It felt a lot like it.
The entire conflict is centered around a person whose placement and moral compass are ambiguous.
Also, a character who
not really.
should have died by now. Am I wrong? This character should be dead already.
Here's the thing. They're never going to kill her outright.
No, because... Okay. I like Katie Cassidy. Okay? I like her. She's great in Season 3 of Supernatural. Okay? That's her best performance ever. She's not good on Arrow. She was good on Arrow for a season, when she was the DA, and she was up Oliver's ass all the time.
She is constantly just the worst thing I've ever seen whenever she's on screen.
Yeah, the majority of the time she's a detriment to the show, and she needs to be off of it. Seriously.
Also, I like the whole time there was the hologram of her being dragged. I was cracking up. It looked so bad.
It looks really bad.
It's also the fact that I get he's Mr. Terrific, but he walks up, he's like, hey, guess what, guys? Arkham Tech Detective Vision.
It was the same thing.
Yeah.
It was
same
but it was a PS2 render of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Batman can construct entire crime scenes to the ground up, and he can only create one person
being dragged.
Yeah. Also, Dinah getting behind her and mimic it. I'm like, no, we get it. She's being okay. You're gonna do it anyways.
So you've talked before about how other people told you that Civil War 2 is a character assassination of Captain Marvel.
Yep.
This is the same thing.
Holy shit, it is.
This is the writers of Arrow being like, oh, they like her too much. We need them not to like her, so when we turn evil Laurel good and make her part of the team, which is something one of you said in the chat, and I'm like,
oh, it's gonna happen.
That's gonna
totally
happen.
Fucking happen.
That's 100% where they're going.
We were a fucking second away from it this episode.
Well, yeah, they're gonna replace standing bitch face with boring McScream face. It's.
Here's the thing. Dinah was one of my favorite characters going into this season.
Yep.
And at the end of last season,
pretty great.
Then they fucking.
They've slowly made her more and more unlikable. Every episode, she's become worse and worse.
It's like they looked at the two of the standout bits of season 5 are, to me, still Vigilante and Dinah. Because Vigilante's just a fun character whenever he would show up. He was dumb, but he was fun.
And then they put a lot of unnecessary weight on him.
Yeah.
Like,
well, he was a fun character and people liked him. Cool, let's kill him.
Right.
That seems like a good idea.
Yeah, or let's just send him away for a couple years, like Slade. Or...
and people like Dinah? Okay, let's make her an unbearable person to deal with during the show.
Let's make her a fucking sociopath.
Yep.
Yes,
Okay, she is basically, throughout this entire episode, almost, more or less getting off on the idea of killing Laurel.
It's really
She is
weird.
fucking fixated on murdering this woman. And Oliver's like, okay, we kind of need to find her because the city that you all live in is about to go bankrupt.
Right.
Yes.
And lots of people are going to pay for it. And hospitals will shut down. And schools will shut down. And police will shut down. And then Dinah's like,
Also, here's the point that they bring up in the episode, and it's just thrown away. It's her fault Vince is dead. 100%.
It is very much her fault.
Like, it's not even a question. If she had listened to Oliver, Vince would probably still be alive. But no, she's gonna get a hissy fit over Vince. Or into a hissy fit. And here's the thing. We have to go back to the origins of her character, I guess. Yeah, she's a vengeful person, but she has senses. She's not a dummy. She has a logical mind. She can put things together. She's not an idiot.
She was a police officer.
She's a fucking detective.
Yeah.
I don't. This is a character assassination. This is the writers being like, "Oh, you liked her way too much." No, and then
it trickles down because then the first one to get really dragged and caught up into is Renee, because Renee just becomes a fucking prick in this episode.
Oh yeah, Renee can fuck off.
Kind of like they make he's always been kind of a dick, but like he's a fun dick and he's like a friendly jerk. He's the kind of one you want around.
He's not being like explicitly evil. He just be like
he's being deliberately antagonistic and confrontational.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, he's doing this weird performance where he's like trying to be a villain almost.
Yeah. He's in the wrong though. That's the problem. The only person on Team Terrific who isn't in the wrong is Curtis.
Yeah.
He's the only one who is in the right about anything.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the problem. He's like, I have an idea, but it's going to physically hurt someone who has done me no wrong.
Oh, that pissed me off. That pissed me off so
cares?
much.
Just do it anyways.
Anyway, who cares?
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's something. I mean, they at least got that right on this episode. Was like having Mr. Terrific be like, maybe not, guys. Like it seemed like he was actually thinking about what the repercussions of a lot of the actions were going to be before they did them, instead of doing them and being like, I don't care, must kill.
Mm-hmm.
And we mentioned the vans. This you could not make these three. One of them is one of the smartest people in this entire universe shows. You could not have made these three look any fucking dumber.
Mm-hmm.
It was fucking, and
it was like
handled
Scooby-Doo.
This is oh my god! Like okay, so for those who aren't keeping up, Renee puts a tracker on Arrow on Oliver. They're going to use that tracker so that when Oliver finds Laurel, they can follow them and get the drop on Laurel.
Right.
Now, when they said follow them, I thought carefully and stealthily and with some intelligence, because they're vigilante crime fighters and they should know better. No, instead their idea is to get into a big fucking black van in full costume and follow Oliver in his van with their headlights blasting up his ass. And Oliver's like, we're being followed!
And you're following John Diggle.
Yeah.
Okay? John fucking Diggle. God damn it. Like, and here's the thing, the Civil War comparison. Okay, I think the writers don't understand what made the Civil War interesting. In Civil War, you could root for both sides. If you rooted for Tony, you're probably a monster.
Yeah,
most likely.
You're
But still,
probably Nazi too.
but I can still understand why you would root for Tony. you're still a monster. That said, I get it. I can't root for anybody on this. Oliver was wrong for going into their base or whatever, and like.
However, he ends up looking like the only one who's remotely
Sane?
thinking.
Right.
Like, yeah, he looks sane.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's just, well, yeah. When Oliver is the only one who seems like he's making sensible choices, you're doing bad. You're not doing your job right.
And because Oliver's like, I'm a mayor, a father, and the Green Arrow. I have to think big picture 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pleading with these three people who were his friends and teammates at some point. He's like, please, big picture, city in trouble, need you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you.
It's so dumb. They're all being so childish.
And then like, the thing with Civil War is by the end of it, like, my heart's being tugged at because I'm like, oh my god, like, this is awesome, but the three of you, stop beating the fuck out of each other.
Yeah, please be friends, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
And
like
this, I was like, I hope you all kill each other. I don't give a shit at this point.
yeah, and the thing that launches off the final fight, the final battle in that fight scene is something where it's like, I completely understand this. I completely get why Tony's doing what he's doing.
Yep.
And I completely understand why Cap is doing what he's doing. And but this is not the same thing. This is
But then they show up.
No, not at all.
By the way,
being
Quentin is also kind of a fault here because Quentin,
yeah.
Quentin, first of all, in Oliver's office, he's like, he delivers the most poorly given performance of a lie.
He's just like, no, stay here. It's good.
It's like, fucking, Oliver should have been like, you're lying to me. Right away. Quentin's like,
Quentin should have just grabbed his tie and been like,
Quentin is so bad.
Quentin was like, by the way, Oliver, I'm just gonna say right now, okay, on that night, remember that night? Okay, well, I found Laurel. I mean, she found me. She was following me. And then so I followed her, right? You see, you keeping up? And maybe if I see her again, or she sees me, either one, whatever happens first.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Maybe her and I could have some kind of connection.
Speaking of bad performances, Laurel's fucking like performance at the end, where she was like, "My name is Laurel Lance." That was so fucking like really tough to sit through.
Also, like, nobody's gonna believe you. No one's gonna believe you. You were killed by Damien Dark.
You died in a hospital. You died in a hospital.
I was rooting for the
There are records.
pulmonary embolism. I'm not
There
gonna
are
lie.
records of your death.
Wait, I just thought of it. All right, what's going to happen is they're not going to get the money back in time. The records are going to be destroyed because they're not going to have the power to the hospital. They're going to get the money back, the power will come back, but the records will be gone. Yes. I'd like my $10,000 for writing for Arrow, please.
Here's the thing. When they introduced Dragon in the last Arrow episode that we saw,
Where did he go?
he was so cool. We were like, oh, maybe things are looking up. Maybe this will be good. No. Can we move on to something happier?
Enjoyable?
Something... Even Otis is like, move on. Get the fuck on with it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, let's, I'd say, well, I mean, Connor, you said you don't remember anything from Black Lightning.
I don't remember a goddamn thing about Black Lightning except that, like, there were some revelations. That's really about it.
All you really need to know is that Anissa and Jefferson fought, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty
Also,
good.
They fucking sprayed paint on a Confederate statue.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was good. And then
Yeah.
she, like, stomped it?
Yeah.
Guess?
That's a power she has in the comics.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yep.
So there was some good political stuff in this episode,
Yeah,
actually.
There definitely was.
Yeah, it felt... I mean, it's reacting to things that kind of happened earlier this summer, but that makes sense with when this would have been written and stuff like that. But there's definitely a vision and a point to this episode. And it continues to be the same show. Like, the show has such a singular voice. and I really enjoy that voice and how it doesn't. I never feel like it's preachy. That's the other thing.
No.
Black Lightning's strongest trait is sincerity.
Yeah. Like, it has a thing that it's wearing on its chest, but it's never just, like, beating you over the head with it. Which I enjoy. And all the little things, like the fact that Jefferson's powers and Whale's powers.
Whale's. Okay.
Yeah, as they explain, Whale is also part of the same experiment. That their powers come from the Tuskegee Airmen. That's such a cool little detail. Like,
that's why they mentioned that in the last episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, little things like that are like, oh wow, like, you're taking in bits of real history and incorporating them into these characters' origins, and it's the kind of thing that I really appreciate because it adds to the reality of this world.
Well, and it's taking a focus, which, once again, disclaimer, white guy, Pennsylvania. It's maintaining a, for lack of a better term, a black focus, which has been severely lacking in any type of superhero or whatnot. And with the bump from Black Panther, the show has nothing but good places to go, and hopefully more people will start watching it, realizing that they can get not quite as good, but a smaller taste of it on the small screen.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting that this show is keeping its momentum in a way that Luke Cage couldn't. And to be fair, Luke Cage came first, so it had that to overcome.
It had a harder road to hoe.
Yeah. And this sort of gets to react to that and sort of define things a little bit further. But I really, and again, like, I gotta say, I really like that they're not doing Villain of the Week. Like, this episode, the main fight isn't between a bad guy and a good guy. It's between two family members, which is really interesting. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a really well done show, I guess.
It's almost like when you come into a superhero show and the universe already feels lived in and kind of established. You don't have to waste time on Monster of the Week bullshit.
Yeah. Well, it's also like, it's a choice. Like, Flash could easily do this. There's no reason it couldn't. The same thing goes for Arrow. Like, there's no reason not to have whole episodes of Arrow that are just political stuff. Like, and those episodes, they've kind of done them. And they've been interesting before, so there's no reason that they can't. And that's the thing. Like, there are episodes of Black Lightning, we mentioned this before, where nothing happens. It's just like character building and establishing parts of the universe, and like, telling you who characters are and what their relations to each other are. And if that's done well, you don't need anybody to get punched in the face. When it happens, it's great, but it's not essential because you've done so much work in the actual writing of the show.
Yep, and what have we said are the best episodes of The Walking Dead?
Well,
the ones that focus on one person.
Yeah, or they're
ones that actually spend time with character development and peeling back layers of characters and figuring out why they are the way they are.
Yeah, like the episode in season 2 where it's just Daryl.
He's hallucinating Merle?
Yes, he's hallucinating Merle, and it's just him alone, lost in the wilderness, using his survival skills, and like you said, hallucinating Merle. That's a fucking great episode. Like,
yep, I actually forgot about that episode because season 2 feels like it was an eternity ago.
Yeah, it was, and it also lasted for an eternity.
It certainly did.
Feels like an eternity. The entirety of The Walking Dead. Am I right?
Oh.
I hate to break it to you, but I saw a headline say it says AMC plans to announce more Walking Dead spinoffs.
Well, that's what happens when you're getting sued by your showrunners. Yeah.
Yep.
But your cast is dropping like flies.
Yeah.
By Lauren Cohen.
Remember when we had that cute idea that we would actually find out what was going to happen with that AMC lawsuit? It's going to go on forever. And ever.
It's just unending. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, Black Lightning's good, I guess. Like, this reveal happened at the right moment. I'm not a fan of them ending on that cliffhanger, really. I don't think it's a good cliffhanger to end on, but I get why. It's television, so
Yeah.
you want people to be more excited when they come back the next week.
Their emphasis on the family element in the show has been flawless. I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And I like that his wife is starting to come around. Also, I like that she's not just a rock in the
I
sand.
think she's the most interesting factor of the show because she's essentially the anti-Iris West, where Iris, and I think you even said you hated to use this word. Iris has become a nag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's there to be cross with people, and she's there to tell people what to do and to belittle them. And then when she's not doing that, she's like, "Yay, team, we did it!" Yeah, after you were a horrible bitch to everybody.
Yeah. Well, and that's,
what was it like?
something.
Was it like a few episodes ago, she was like talking down to Caitlyn. I was like, "Who the fuck are you to talk down to her?"
No,
Yeah.
they addressed the one thing that I was worried they're going to keep going forward with on Black Lightning with his wife or his ex-wife was that she's constantly going to be like, "Oh, Jefferson, you can't keep doing this. Can't keep doing this." But she's like, she came to the realization she was jealous of having to separate his superhero life and him, and she's like, I have to accept the fact that is you, that is a part of you, and you need to understand why I was the way I was about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but you mean a couple is actually talking about their problems?
Yeah, and they're overcoming them, and
their CW show,
and the relationship is growing in a natural way that makes sense.
Yep.
What?
And it's not accelerated in
You mean
this
hold on,
unnecessary
wait.
way.
You mean Jefferson didn't wait until his ex-wife's current fiance died and jumped into his fucking grave?
Right. And after the mid-season finale, just a random girl who's always been there didn't suddenly just fall in love with him, and then he decided that he loved them back. That didn't happen. How amazing. They're avoiding the TV-ness of what this could be, which is something I'm happy with. The next few episodes, it's all going to be about how she doesn't want what's the daughter's name that I can't remember for some reason?
I can't remember her name.
Anissa. The next few episodes are just going to be her angry that she has powers now. So we're going to shift who she's going to be like, you can't do this. But at least it makes sense, kind of, why she's doing it.
If I was her mother, I'd be more angry about that outfit she's wearing.
Same. God, okay. Her outfit needs to go. Gamby needs to give her something else.
Well, he's going to. I mean, we saw the promo image of her in that her what I guess is going to be her Thunder outfit, but
it can come sooner than later.
Please. That was something else. Speaking of costumes, there was the point where Black Lightning was talking to, I guess, Tobias's doctor.
Right.
Was it? Dude, how can anyone not know who you are looking directly at you? That mask does nothing.
Well, no, they explain this. I talked about it in the show. They explain this.
They do? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you'd mentioned that his daughters were like,
said
you can't
that
really
she
see
looked
him.
at him, and he's generating a feedback to the point where looking directly at his face would cause you a massive headache.
I forgot about that. Then that doctor must have an amazing ability to withstand headaches because he's just staring at him the whole time.
Well, he uses his own supply, some might say.
Oh, okay, yeah.
that protects
Don't get high
him.
on your own supply. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's wearing lead suntan lotion from the 60s.
I've heard about some lead things in my time.
God damn it. Yeah, I don't know, not much else to say other than that fight was dope. I thought that it was a really well done fight. It's a good episode. Black Lightning continues to be impressive. So
Black Lightning has not dropped the ball on action sequences yet.
No. Yeah, and all the surrounding stuff is still good. So I guess we can do Legends now.
Yeah.
Hey, Legends is a pirate episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it's real fun. It's real good.
Also, I love Poison Ivy.
Okay, so I think I might have actually forgotten to finish the episode.
Oh.
I think there's only 10 minutes left. I think I realized this before we started. Was there a Poison Ivy reveal? Because that tease at the beginning is very...
No, she's... So...
She's very close to Poison Ivy.
They're messing with the lore a little bit, and Poison Ivy is technically... I mean, through no fault of her own or anybody's fault really, she's technically connected to the green, but not in any like official way, if that makes sense.
Right?
What's that?
Not in like a tangible sense, right?
No, it's not like the green gave her powers in any way.
She's. It wasn't a willing participant.
No, it was like the experiments on her gave her a connection to the green. It's not one that they ever anticipated or probably even want. But she has one nonetheless. So they're doing something with the lore a little bit, and they're messing with things, which I'm fine with, because it makes sense within the context of the comics. Like, if they said that there was a totem, a green totem in the comics, I would totally buy that. I wouldn't be like, well, that's bullshit. They've never have done anything like that before. What
are you talking about? Luke can't project himself across the galaxy. He's never done that before.
Yeah. But, like, Amaya has a totem in the books, correct? I'm assuming some of us know something about Amaya.
Vixen is the character I know about, and I mean, isn't she supposed to be Vixen, even though she has... Yeah, it's
Vixen a title in this universe.
Okay.
So,
she has a connection to the red, whatever, the morphogenic force. At least I'm going on the Grant Morrison run on Animal Man, so things have obviously changed since then.
Not
but
much.
Yeah, I mean, she has a connection, but she's not as strong as Buddy Baker is, because he's the avatar of the red. So
So yeah, like nothing about like the fact that she controls those vines. Nothing about that is like that doesn't make sense. Like there are other characters in Swamp Thing who have connections to the green, who have very similar powers. Floronic Man,
Bush Man,
wildly out of like ordinary. I just brought that. I thought it was like funny how it's just like she looks exactly like Poison Ivy.
Her design is so weird, and the fact that they cast a redhead, it felt like they wanted Poison Ivy, but they couldn't get Poison Ivy, so this pirate chick shows up.
It's not like she's being tied up anywhere else important.
Oh God.
Fuck you, Gotham. Go die.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a good episode, though. I like. There's not much to say. It's really just like self-explanatory. Legends go on an adventure, and there's stuff that happens.
Sarah goes on a date.
Yeah. That date is pretty cool. It's pretty fun. I don't know. Like, it's really hard to talk about this episode because it is so good. I'm having a hard time.
Well, it's the same problem we have all the time. It's anytime it's good.
I think the problem is like when these shows, because we ran into it in Legends Season 2, when these shows maintain momentum, there's not much to unpack other than the fact that, like, still good.
Yeah.
I guess
unless there's some amazing revelation.
And it's still good for the same reasons as the week before and the week before and the week before.
Yeah.
I think the only major exceptions in, like, Legends Season 2 were the last few episodes, because those were fucking insane. And the Legion episode, because that was a big break from the formula.
I did want to point out, was Mick drunk the whole episode?
Seemed it.
I hope so.
He was really, really like noticeably.
Yeah, and I love that he loves pirates also.
That was
makes
great.
So much sense.
Yeah,
I love that
it makes total sense.
Things like vampires, ninjas, pirates. He's like a 6-year-old boy.
He really
I was going to
is.
say he's the mid to late 90s internet then.
God damn it.
I hope he likes cats too.
Yeah, and he likes 90s era cable also. So
He also loves romance novels.
Yes. Yes.
But I guess we can talk about. Let's talk about Legends as a season. Also, let's do that because that's more interesting. So Legends started off kind of rocky.
Yeah.
That
first episode, yes.
Yeah.
I think there was no way to come back from season 2.
Yeah.
With the same momentum, because it had been resolved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like as much as them crashing in LA while it's covered in dinosaurs. As much as that's an interesting thing to end on,
I love that.
I don't think that they had the budget to do like an entire season of that. I would have loved to have seen that though. So I do agree. Like the momentum is something that's hard to get back, but I do think it's interesting that Legends is a show that needs time to wake up in a weird way. And it's interesting that this season is following the same pattern as last season. Like I said it last season when we were reviewing it. The first half was good. Like there were some okay episodes. There's an episode with like what was it? Zombie Confederates, and that was a good episode. It was a very good episode.
That's the episode where Nate.
Remember when Nate? What's up? Sorry.
That was the episode where Nate stops a train.
Yeah.
That's the fucking best.
Yeah, and like
AR rifles to American Revolutionary.
Yeah, and like Amaya and Jax have like this conversation from two different perspectives about slavery. Like it's a really like heavy episode. It's very Black
and
Panther-ish,
that's the episode
actually.
where I think that's the episode that solidified Mick as like an absolute must-watch character, because that's when he becomes they make a statue out of him, and he becomes a Revolutionary War hero.
It's pretty good. But yeah, like but it's also the episode where they cast Ulysses S. Grant, and he's just terrible.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm confusing. That was later episode.
Yeah,
the Confederate episode was earlier. The Revolutionary War episode.
Yeah. But yeah,
two different.
Well, as someone who just came into the show this season, like I gotta admit, like the first 2, maybe 3 episodes, I definitely wasn't feeling the show. Like it felt like they were spinning too many plates for me to really want to follow. Mm-hmm. Mind you, everything else seemed to be at a much higher place, and even Flash at the time. But as the show has progressed, like it's been one of my favorites. Like and initially I was a little bit put off even by the comedy nature of the show, but I've learned to actually really enjoy it. Like it's just, as you said, it takes a little time to warm up.
When Legends sticks a joke, it's
better
than anything across all of these shows.
Yeah.
Except for when I think like the best comedy Flash has produced has mostly been centered around Wells and Cisco.
Yeah, that's the best stuff.
And This House is Bitchin'. That's a great.
Yeah. I like how that keeps popping up in various places because they keep trying to figure out what the significance is.
Yeah.
This house is bitchin'? No, I was gonna say something else, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
I think like there's a moment in season 2 where Cisco's like. He's like, I just upgraded Starlab security system. No one's ever gonna walk in here uninvited again. And Jay Garrick walks right in. He's like, hello, Team Flash. I'm here to help you. And Cisco's like, what the hell?
It's really good. This season it's getting there. I don't think we'll get an episode like the introduction of Evil Rip, but maybe, possibly. I'm excited though. Like I'm excited that Rip found Wally. And that they're giving that time before
their
they
karaoke
bring him in.
Scene was so good.
Yeah,
dude,
so good.
I
so
fucking
good.
love those two hanging out and getting shit-faced together.
They have a lot of chemistry. Those two.
They do.
It's very interesting. And I mean, Rip is just going full 10th Doctor in this episode with his outfit, and it's very. It's
and it's almost like when you give Kean Lonsdale like kind of his own. When you untether him from Barry, he's actually decent.
Yeah, it's weird because I think saying that he's going off to find himself was a good idea overall, because he got to sort of define who his character was, not just based off of who he started out as. And as we've said many times, he's an actor who has grown as the shows have gone on, and he's gotten progressively much, much better. If you watch his first episode of season 2, just that episode on its own,
there's a singular moment. There's a singular moment in season 3 of Flash where Wally solidified himself as one of my favorite characters this season produced. And Eric, you didn't see this because it could be a throwaway moment, but it's hysterical. Barry temporarily loses his memory. They kind of wipe him for reasons. I can't remember why they do that. But
so Savitar doesn't remember it.
And so he's asking people how he knows them, and he walks to Wally and goes, "Oh, how do we know it?" And Wally goes, instinctively goes, "Oh, we're brothers." and Barry just looks down at his skin, and it cuts back to Wally, and he's just cringing.
Nice.
The fucking best. And then just Barry just walks away, and Wally still has this cringe on his face until he leaves the room.
It's really good. Oh god. Yeah. I don't know. This episode's really good. I guess we can wrap up.
Well,
I don't.
I
know.
did just want to say the payoff at the very end of Legends when you got to see the Atom actually use the magic gun on someone. Well, that wasn't even the very end. That was near the end of the episode.
Well,
but yeah,
like
getting to see him use the gun.
Yeah, that was cool. And then the cliff.
Although,
okay, let's talk about the cliffhanger a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
So Adam is really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very dumb man.
What did he expect to happen?
Yeah, I would have gotten out of there immediately.
Yeah.
But he's
painfully
Ray.
innocent.
Yeah, he really is. Like,
I need to be reminded what happened.
no, so Ray feels guilty about.
Well, he shot
things.
Damien Dark's daughter,
Right.
the adult version of his daughter, with the magic gun that John told him, to save for Sarah.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then Ray felt bad. Yeah, he felt bad, and he went back and was going to help her because he wanted to get Amaya's totem back.
Right.
That was the exchange, is that he helps her not die from being shot by the anti-magic gun if he gets Amaya's totem back for Amaya.
Yeah.
And he stupidly, Damien throws him the totem, says anything for my daughter, blah, blah, blah. Ray does what he's going to do, and then mistakenly thinks that Damien Dark's daughter is going to be thankful, and she starts to suck his life force out or whatever and knocks him out after Damien says, like, wait, he might be useful later.
Right. So he's going to be a hostage for a couple episodes.
Oh,
probably.
Damien's making the same mistake fucking Eobard made last season. Kill your enemies now.
Yeah.
So, like, immediately.
And which is funny because Damien was the one who kept saying, I don't know why you keep these legends around. Just kill them now and get it over with.
That's true. That's very true. But, I mean, maybe we'll get a scene where Damien has his powers taken away. And Ray's like, he's like, he doesn't have any powers. And he's like, I can still kick your ass, Raymond. Yeah.
Oh my god, I fucking love that sequence.
It's so good.
In last season, there's a fucking, this is for Erik. There's a space mission. There's a space episode. It's during the, what Apollo mission is it?
It's Apollo 13, I think.
Yeah,
or 11.
Eobard is aboard the shuttle, and so is Ray. And like because they're in zero gravity, like you can't use the Speed Force. And Ray is like, "Ha, no Speed Force." And Eobard just goes, "I don't need Speed Force to kick your ass, Palmer."
It's really good.
Nice.
And they have a 0G fist fight. I love this fucking show so much.
And then they kind of bond during that episode.
They do.
Which is really
it's
weird.
Fucking great, like because like Eobard's like, I'm not gonna, I don't really have much use for my powers up here. And besides, if I kill you and you kill me, neither of us are getting out of us alive. And then they bond as scientists.
Right. It's
That
really
makes sense.
Yeah.
That Eobard is an extremely brilliant man.
Yeah.
And he even says he's like I kind of actually miss just being a scientist.
Yeah. And then it makes it really weird when a couple episodes later, Eobard takes Ray's heart out.
When he a couple of Eobard really tears Ray Palmer's heart from his chest and kills him.
It's really brutal.
It's the most graphic thing I've seen across all of these shows, and it still haunts me.
Kind of fucked.
That's a little bit of a change.
It's so fucking insane.
It's really good though.
Because he like runs up, grabs it, and then he's like tossing it in the air. He's like, huh. And then just chucks it in the dirt, and Ray drops dead.
And Ray looks so hurt also. Like he's
Well, I imagine so.
Well, no, like in his face. Like he's like, but I thought we were friends.
We're science
pals.
Much like the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's Ray's whole thing. And I guess it makes sense for his character, and I'm not angry at it because we'll have at least an episode where there's actual like peril. And I think that this is how we'll learn more about Malice. Like, because
that's a good point.
They'll bring him back to wherever Malice is.
I was worried about the reveal of Malice, and now I'm not bothered by it.
Yeah.
Because we have this DeVoe nonsense happening. It's everything around it seem infinitely better.
And also, I don't think it matters who Malice is. I think what matters is
I wouldn't
he's
even mad if it did turn out to be like a demon.
right.
Like,
Well, they kind of answered it. He is the wearer of the dark totem.
Yeah.
And here's the
Okay.
thing: if you go by the most recent Swamp Thing Animal Man run, that actually makes sense. The gray and the red and the green, they can all kind of manipulate time, in a weird way. If you enter the gray realm or the rot realm, and you're locked in there long enough, time will move by faster outside of where you are, and events can happen that are unforeseen. So Malice being able to manipulate time is actually pre-established in the comics. So it's not that crazy for him to just have these random time powers. And if you're one of the avatars, magic typically doesn't work on you the same way. You're not magic proof, but magic has a harder time affecting you because you're drawing on the power of everything that the avatars represent. So Malice's powers, they make sense logically within the world of DC. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, I'm okay with him not revealing because he's just a guy who happens to hold the totem. So it doesn't really matter who he is necessarily.
Well, on the note with Ray being held captive by Dark, I'm actually kind of happy that's happening because that means the Legends will actually have to be directly involved against Dark instead of him just appearing at things that they're doing, because that's pretty much what he's been doing. Like with the exception of the fight to the Return of the Mac, that was the last time they really had any direct confrontation with him.
You're
He's
right.
always kind of shown up at places they are, or they've stumbled onto something he's doing and he's gotten away.
He kind of
So
pops
this will
up.
bring them into direct conflict.
Yeah, he kind of pops up like Jason Statham in Furious 7. In a very similar manner, actually. Like, he just shows up and he's like, I'm gonna wreck shop, and then...
he's gonna hold Nate Mariah's kid.
Right. God damn it. But yeah, like, he just shows up randomly, and also it's like, well, we don't have Kuwasa, right? We've used her up for this season, and we can't afford to do Grodd.
Any more water effects, yeah.
Right. So we're just gonna do Damien Dark because he's a dude in a 3-piece suit, so we can afford that.
With Neil McDonough. That's the powerful force behind the character.
Yeah, he's in Canada, and he has telekinesis, so whatever.
Yeah.
So,
And when he's not acting, he is spending his time in rivers, stark naked, shouting at the top of his lungs.
God damn it.
Everyone go watch Ravenous.
It's a... If you don't like it, that's your fault.
And I'm really glad that I'm the person who introduced Hunter to Ravenous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although, don't try and watch it on Netflix because there is what I believe a French language horror movie called Ravenous on there now. So, if you're going to look for Ravenous, make sure you're looking for the one that takes place during the Civil War.
Yeah.
Isn't that Raw?
What's that?
Isn't that Raw that you were talking about?
No, there's actually a movie called Ravenous that's on there
Great.
now. That is not the one that you're talking about.
Gross.
Yep.
Yeah, no, this one's Civil War-ish, and
Era. Yeah.
and there's some weird fucking music cues, and I love it.
Oh man, it is the weirdest, funniest horror movie I think I've ever seen. And it's not funny like Evil Dead is haha funny. It's funny like what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it's so...
It is unapologetically strange.
Yeah, it embraces it, and I kind of love it for that, so...
Like, find yourself laughing at someone waking up and he discovers that someone's licking his wounds.
Oh, it's like a zombie show that you're talking about, Eric. Like
Yeah. Okay, it's zombies. Okay.
It's Quebec. So
Okay.
Eric Savitar better get out of there.
Damn it. I was about to ask you. You should talk to him about it.
Yeah.
I think we can wrap on. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other thing I saw was the Walking Dead spin-offs, and no thanks.
Don't care.
I've already experienced enough rage this week.
We did the news. Nothing happened in the last 24
And
hours.
I hate to say it, but I've got to watch Dungeons and Dragons again this coming week.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So I guess we can address things in the future. Jessica Jones will be out as soon as we can record it. So look forward to that.
What's our next movie special?
Our next that's already recorded, and that's Iron Man.
I mean, like in the that we haven't.
It'll be Infinity War.
Oh fuck!
Okay.
Yeah,
God, that's close.
I think I'm going to be pulling a hooky day from work to go see that. So
I'm gonna tell them I'm going to someone's funeral.
Yeah, and then after that, it's Incredibles.
Warner Brothers funeral.
Yeah, it's Incredibles and it's FF. We're gonna watch the 2005 Fantastic Four, but that's way in the future. So yeah,
Punisher.
Probably next year, unless we want to move a movie that we've already planned on, which we can do.
Warzone first.
No.
Please give me two Warzone first.
No, we agreed to do them in order, so we have to do.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right.
So we have to
so
do
we're going to
our.
do the Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah,
No, we're not doing Dolph Lundgren.
No, that's our that's the thing. That's
the movie dumpster crossover that we're trying to get.
So that's my my clause. If we're gonna do the Dolph Lundgren movie, it needs to be a crossover. And I have a couple other movies like that where that needs to be a crossover if I'm ever even gonna touch it. But that does technically count. That will be in the continuity for our show. So
Yeah. Do we call that the Phantom Dumpster?
Maybe. I was thinking, I mean, we'll talk about this in the chat and not online for everybody to hear it. But I was thinking of like a two-parter for that one, maybe. So, but we'll figure that out later. So yeah.
Tease.
But
See,
yeah.
Alan? That's how you tease.
Right. That's how you do things. you don't just like tell everybody what you're gonna do. But yeah, plan is 3 episodes of Jessica Jones, and those will happen when they happen. So
I like how Alan's like, guess what? Project Katana, and everyone's like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Love you, buddy.
Yeah, we love you, man.
We do.
Yeah.
Of course, you won't hear this until like the end of the week. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So I guess plugs now, I guess, is what we do. So.
Hey, movie dumpster. What the? Oh, we didn't release an episode this week because the East Coast, where our episodes are produced, edited, and released, is getting beat the fuck up by a storm.
Well, most of it is. I'm not.
Joe.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Joe is still without power.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So you'll probably when that happens, people will probably get like 2 episodes at the same time or something, right? Or something like that.
I think Monday was our plan for
nice.
Monster in the Closet is the next one, starring itty bitty tiny young Paul Walker.
Oh my.
Fuck.
Yes, I think it's his first movie. He plays a little character called the Professor. Has a bunch of other actors you might recognize. It was produced by Troma. It's super weird, super entertaining. It's kind of a fun little movie. It's actually the deep-seated origin of Movie Dumpster because years ago, back in New Jersey, me and Joe tried this once before, and I think we both have notes written down from this first viewing attempt, which was very heavily whiskey-fueled. And he also watched it with Sean in a second attempt to get a show started, and then the 3 of us finally came together and watched it for Movie Dumpster, so it's kind of a weird, very important movie for the show.
It's your homecoming movie.
It is!
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, that's all I got.
Oh, I'm Adam Driver. Go see Wars the Last Jedi.
That's actually really impressive, Adam Driver.
That's a pretty good Adam Driver. God damn it.
No, you can follow me on Instagram at StrokeGodMillionaire. Follow my game collecting account at 17games. And if you find my Snapchat, you'll get a no prize.
Very nice. Very nice.
Just say you'll get a no prize?
Yes.
Yes.
God damn it. I'm on Vivo, so that's a thing. You know.
Okay.
Where to
Keep
look.
calling it Vivo. That's a YouTube search.
I don't care.
Vero True Social is the app he's referring to.
And we're all
Bebo is the music video channel.
Guys, I'm actually a secret 80-year-old, so
Arlen is someone's gram.
but no, yeah, Vero. I'm on Vero. Look for me or don't. I don't care. I will be live tweeting the Oscars tomorrow, assuming this goes up before then. So go to that. Yeah, that's great.
Well, I mean, if this goes up after the Oscars.
Yeah, you can go back and look through my feed or whatever. So Haro, Lost Haro podcast comes out every week. Our Oscars reaction episode might come out earlier, depending on how busy as fuck I am. So yeah, that's a thing. So yeah.
I'm Erik Voracek. You can find me on Erik_Fido on Instagram. Food, dogs, comics, things. I'm floating around the Phantom Zone. And make sure that your windows and doors are locked tightly, or I'm going to come over and blacklight you.
What? What does that mean?
That's an inside joke. That
like,
Alex Jones is selling anti-blacklight kits.
I can't get away for 2 days in a row.
We will be selling kits that will not allow.
And if I could achieve it, I would do a fucking obnoxious Tommy Lauren impression too, just to add.
Oh boy!
You should try it though, just to see.
You just shriek into the microphone and do the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, black people are ungrateful.
You could just do that screaming eagle noise from the Winter Soldier soundtrack.
She's like, I'm Aryan Barbie, and
yeah. God damn it.
How can we save all of our political opinions to the end of the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're done now. Before several different conspiracy-fueled characters start popping up.
Landline DVDs.
It's almost like I summoned them.
Did I hear someone talking about conspiracy? I was in the other room making
I
a
just
sandwich.
listened to you talk about John Ludwig and Iron Predator, okay?
Don't see the Last Jedi.
Someone told him he'd never work another day in this industry, and you know what happens when you tell someone that.
I'm a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus is what I am.
You see, director John McTiernan never had any emotion on his face, but he laughed at a joke we said one day. That's how I know he killed it in the movie. Actual quote I heard like 2 days ago.
God fucking damn it.
I was a Marine.
I will link you all to that little interview in a second. On that note, we should say bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Fuck X-Men Apocalypse.
Fuck X-Men Apocalypse. And fuck Arrow this week. Holy shit. God. Fucking ass dick. Fucking Arrow. Fucking Arrow.